immediate post-war era, when it is that Caribbean people came back from fighting a war in a continent far away from their removed from their experience. When they saw what existed elsewhere, outside of the narrow colonial experience that was foisted upon them, they started to develop a regional identity. And that was what sparked the independence movement. Our fates in Guyana have always been entwined with the fates of our brothers and sisters in the rest of the Anglophone Caribbean and wider field. We've had a common history, common colonial experience. We have a common future, one that is in the making. What we have not had in about the past 40 years or so is a renewed sense of where our purpose lies. We become stuck, as we are in Guyana, in quagmires of division, of political dysfunction, of stagnation. A few months ago, I follow Trinidadian politics because I have friends in Trinidad. And I saw a story about a young man who decided that he was tired of the division and dysfunction. And I was impressed, very impressed by what he said. So I reached out to him online, and we began a conversation. And when I was in Trinidad in August for Carifesta, we met, and it convinced me that our mutual problems are the same, our mutual challenges are the same, and our mutual solutions, therefore, are the same. I invited him to come over and be a guest speaker at our launch, and he thankfully agreed. I give you Nikolai Jean-Paul Edwards, founder and now interim political leader, and I suspect it's going to be more than interim political leader in the future, of the Progressive Party of Trinidad, newly formed.
Be a case of water, or whether it be the option to print 20 jerseys, or to give $100, or in this case, $1,000. Those small things add up. And this has to genuinely be a citizenship initiative. So with the Progressive Party, the intention is to contest all 41 seats in the 2020 general election in Trinidad and Tobago. And some people may be saying, well, how are you going to fund that, and how are you going to organize, and so forth? Well, the fact is that we live in 2019, where it's that much easier to get a message out, thanks to social media, thanks to networking. So for one, the kind of money that would have been spent on an election, let's say 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, is not the same kind of money that would be needed for an election campaign in 2020. We are all connected, and we need to leverage on that. So I am going full steam ahead with my team to contest the 2020 general elections. And our success will be determined by the people of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. If that means getting just enough seats to form the opposition, or even just one seat in Parliament, that would be the start of something. And that's how we need to see it. Trinidad and Tobago, much like Guyana, has so much potential. And we need to start to see the potential of our countries being realized. We cannot sit and expect our matters to be dealt with by persons who are ill-suited to fit in the positions for which they occupy. We need to start to look among ourselves and identify individuals who we know may make a better Minister of Finance, or a better minister who has responsibility for social issues or national security. Why are we spending money on educating ourselves and taking up positions in society if not for a higher purpose, a higher calling? We need to trust ourselves and our abilities. Because the individuals who currently occupy spaces in parliaments across the Caribbean, they have the confidence in themselves. And the reason why a political party may lose an election is not necessarily only because the party for which it is opposing is stronger. It's because the individuals who surround the party that lost did not have the tenacity, the wherewithal, the confidence in themselves to push forward. Because I'll state it like this. If you go to a line of businesses, a line of restaurants, or a stall, someone selling at the side of the road, the first one that you would consider going to would probably be the one that has the most amount of people at its doorstep. Not so? Because you feel as though everyone is shopping there, so that might be the best option. If we all go with that mindset and no one ventures to try something different, we would be losing out on a huge opportunity. Because if one person walks over and tries something different, and then two persons, and then three persons, and we start to spread word among ourselves that this is a good product, then you would see how the tables will turn. And that's what we need. I think it is laudable that you all have decided to come out here today. You are the ones who are going to take this citizenship initiative forward. You are the individuals who now have to go back and speak to your family and speak to your friends and say, let's give this a try. Because you have to ask yourself the question, how much more can we take before we break? So I want to extend the best of wishes to the Citizenship Initiative. I think that as we move across the Caribbean, the appetite for new political change, for something different, will be wet. Because I had recently only been invited to both Antigua and Barbuda and to St. Lucia to speak at trade union events being held for youth. I've met with prime ministers and presidents across this globe. I have been highly active on the youth front, and I think that it is high time that I take all of those experiences and ensure that Trinidad and Tobago benefits from it. Much the same way that these individuals, they have excelled in their fields. They have decided that Guyana, for them, needs to be on a new frontier, and they have stepped forward. So I encourage you all, and I lend the support of the Progressive Party, because I think that once we all work together, pool our resources, pool our expertise, there will absolutely be nothing that will stop this new wave of exciting times that is going to hit the Caribbean from coming on board. So I'm humbled for the opportunity, and I know that we will do what we set out to do. Even if it does not happen tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that, we have to keep on keeping on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I had no idea what you were going to say when you came.
And that's how we need to see it. Trinidad and Tobago, much like Guyana, has so much potential.
Yes.
And we need to start to see the potential of our countries being realized. We cannot sit and expect our matters to be dealt with by persons who are ill-suited to fit in the positions for which they occupy. We need to start to look among ourselves and identify individuals who we know may make a better Minister of Finance, or a better minister who has responsibility for social issues or national security. Why are we spending money on educating ourselves and taking up positions in society if not for a higher purpose, a higher calling? We need to trust ourselves and our abilities. Because the individuals who currently occupy spaces in parliaments across the Caribbean, they have the confidence in themselves. And the reason why a political party may lose an election is not necessarily only because the party for which it is opposing is stronger, It's because the individuals who surround the party that lost did not have the tenacity, the wherewithal, the confidence in themselves to push forward. Because I'll state it like this. If you go to a line of businesses, a line of restaurants, or a store, someone selling at the side of the road, the first one that you would consider going to would probably be the one that has the most amount of people at its doorstep. Not so? Because you feel as though everyone is shopping there, so that might be the best option. If we all go with that mindset and no one ventures to try something different, we would be losing out on a huge opportunity. Because if one person walks over and tries something different, and then two persons, and then three persons, and we start to spread word among ourselves that this is a good product, then you would see how the tables will turn. And that's what we need. I think it is laudable that you all have decided to come out here today. You are the ones who are going to take this citizenship initiative forward. You are the individuals who now have to go back and speak to your family and speak to your friends and say, let's give this a try. Because you have to ask yourself the question, how much more can we take before we break? So I want to extend the best of wishes to the Citizenship Initiative. I think that as we move across the Caribbean, the appetite for new political change, for something different, will be wet. Because I had recently only been invited to both Antigua and Barbuda and to St. Lucia to speak at trade union events being held for youth. I've met with prime ministers and presidents across this globe. I have been highly active on the youth front, and I think that it is high time that I take all of those experiences and ensure that Trinidad and Tobago benefits from it. Much the same way that these individuals, they have excelled in their fields. They have decided that Guyana for them needs to be on a new frontier, and they have stepped forward. So I encourage you all, and I lend the support of the Progressive Party, because I think that once we all work together, pool our resources, pool our expertise, there will absolutely be nothing that will stop this new wave of exciting times that is going to hit the Caribbean from coming on board. So I'm humbled with the opportunity, and I know that we will do what we set out to do. Even if it does not happen tomorrow, or the day after, or the day after that, we have to keep on keeping on. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I had no idea what we were going to say when you were here. It was brilliant. Exactly the sort of thing that I was listening to the guy in August. I spent a night, probably like 3 o'clock in the morning, by a good friend of mine, Dr. Raymond, who has been taking accountability from the governments, successive governments in Canada. And there's about 4 or 5 of us. And the people that were involved, the people, I was the youngest by about 20 years. And they were telling me about a particular way of Caribbeanness that is past this point. And we're making the case that now is the time for that way to be reached. And I saw a glimpse of it when we engaged in Trinidad, when I see the full power of it. So you have full support. When you're ready to launch out, we will come in from the tangible support to you with the power. Now, one of the things that we face, and young people in general here is, when it is that we decide to step forward and show themselves, that there's this thing that annoys me, I keep pointing out. There's a statement that says you have to creep before you walk. And I'm 39. My son will be 16 next year. In 2 years, he'll be worthless, unlike his father. I can be a I can be a grandfather. Um, the people who founded the independence movement in Ghana did so in their 20s and 30s. People my age, I'll address my friends in the existing political parties who are my age and older, who are still being treated as if they're babies. And the usual thing is, you don't have ideas, you don't have plans. And that may be true, people within existing parties, because they're not allowed to have ideas and to have plans. Well, we are ready to do that job. In that regard, what we want to do is turn this session into sort of a mini town hall. I'm going to explain or broad pillars for development. There. And I'll give a bit of background. My fellow members will expand on a couple of areas. So when we finish with that, we will invite questions from the audience and press. And after that, we'll have our feature. President, I move. I will speak and use technology to. Now, first aspect of the plan has to do with our participatory citizenship, enhanced governance, and public accountability. I think this speaks for itself. We intend to have, for example, from the get-go, an uncompromising attitude first of all to constitutional reform. The constitution is flawed. If you ever needed any sort of proof of that the past years we have handled. If it is, or when it is, that we enter Parliament, we will insist that the Standing Committee on Constitutional Reform does its job, and not like, as has happened over the past year, we 4 times in 5 years. That's not good enough. We need justice reform, modernization of government services. So what it is that you go and are expected to have a process last 6 minutes, last 6 hours. That is a recipe for the corruption that affects the government system. National security reform has to be a key component of government reform. We intend to heavily introduce the concept of digital governance inside sovereignty. And during the question and answer period, feel free to ask me precisely what we're going to do. Now, one particular thing that we're going to focus on, and we intend to push this in the first year without compromise, is the decriminalization of marijuana as the moral, ethical, and just a plain good sense thing to do. We cannot keep criminalizing primarily poor people. Ministers, I know, smoke weed. The children smoke weed in parkways. I don't know why is it that a young person in our vice has to go to jail for something that is open secret and open practice among people who are privileged and who are protected in this society. That is without compromise. There's no half-ass promises that we've had in the past couple of years. No kicking the can down the road. It has to be non-compromisable aspect of it. Now, the next pillar is economic security, diversification, and growth. And Dr. Alfonso, to be honest, being one of our hardcore members of the bid, will do an extensive plan on this. I won't get too much into it. Then we want to look at infrastructure for the future. Again, I won't get too much into that because that is not here. What I will say is one of the things that we like to do is ensure that there's resilience, technological, climate. I was saying, well, the new infrastructure report, and I think that's a brilliant presentation. Education and human resource development, um, that is on our agenda. We have a specialist, the one who's passionate about that. Um, and that person happens to be our keynote speaker. Social cohesion, security, equity. Um, that includes national heritage and cultural policy. I spent the past 3 days finally uh, having one phase of consultations in national cultural policy. I intend to continue for the rest of my term in my current position, which is a couple of months. We want to mainstream marginal and new communities. We're going to look at targeted cash transfers, and then we're going to look at the security, the physical infrastructure. Then finally, we're going to look at international leadership. We're going to start with encouraging this new wave that we see as nascent in the Caribbean and attach it to a larger global picture. We believe that the Guyana has and the rest of the Caribbean has lessons for managing diversity that the world so really needs right now. We're going to do it by regional cooperation, economic and otherwise, and of course, leveraging our economic and new economic model. So that's it simple. That said, I'd like to call Mr. Llanos to explain his plan.
Yeah. Good evening, everyone. My name is Alfonso Llanos, and this isn't so much a plan as it is signals of intent, things that we find are important, are pressing issues when it comes to our economic security, diversification, and growth. So for too long, our politicians have lured us with promises of jobs. Oh, we'll give you 20,000 jobs, says one. Another one says, oh, we'll give you 50,000 jobs. And, we're prisoners to their promises. Our focus isn't so much on job creation as it is wealth creation, and there's a big difference. There's a big difference between jobs that pay $60,000 a month or through what? Working for yourself. So what we find is that wealth empowers individuals to grow and thrive, and it strengthens communities. Wealth is the only way. Wealth is the opposite of poverty. And by unleashing individuals and the entrepreneurial spirit, I think we'll go a long way towards wealth creation instead of just mediocre job creation. So we're intend to focus on a few areas. Key amongst them, tax reform, the competitiveness of the financial sector, actually liberalize the ICT sector. It's been 5 years, 4 years since we've been promised the liberalization of the ICT sector, and so far GT&T has only succeeded in strengthening its monopoly. That has led to higher rates and pretty mediocre customer service. A national electronic payment system. I mean, it's 2019. Ghana is the only place. It's one of the few places that in the Caribbean where electronic payments aren't available. And if you think about it, electronic payments really have the ability to unleash the individual entrepreneur. Imagine the craftsman, so talented on Main Street, being able to accept payments for their work right then and there. Property rights. Property rights. Whew. Imagine the property rights and regulation. I'll focus on each of these briefly for a bit. Yeah, so the focus again is not on ideology or on nice platitudes saying nice things, but our focus is a data-driven, evidence-based approach to tax reform. Yeah, in other words, use what works. There's no need to reinvent the wheel, use what works. So for example, we might use tax credits to the private sector as an incentive for employers to focus on youth. I know that when I was a student abroad, the government of Ontario used a system like this quite successfully to incentivize employers, the private sector, to hire students. I benefited from it, and it was a magnificent experience. We can also use tax credit for qualifying post-secondary institutions who offer crediting capacity to farmer sugar workers, for example. Right, so harnessing the power of tax reform to focus on youth, the farmer sugar workers sector. These are things that I haven't seen really explored in our tax policy. Overall data suggests that lower income and corporate taxes increase economic competitiveness and it increases economic output. And these are all good things for us, for the consumer, for firms, for government. Financial sector competitiveness. I mean, we just saw, we were scared by Scotiabank, or we were taken aback by Scotiabank's threat, or not threat, their intention to leave the sector. Even government was caught aback. Because the impact of that is less competitiveness in the sector. And we all know how difficult it is for individuals, for people like you and me, to transform an idea into a business, because it's difficult to get a loan from a bank. The requirements are oftentimes way too onerous for individuals like you and me to provide to banks. So what we find is that lack of competition in the financial sector stifles entrepreneurship and innovation. Issuing more banking licenses, for example, will likely increase the competitiveness of this sector and enhance the quality and affordability of financial services. When banks have to compete for your business, interest rates might be lower. Quality of their services might be better. You won't find yourself standing hours in line in a Republic Bank or Scotiabank or any bank. Have we thought about the lost hours? The time that we've spent standing in lines at your banks, all over the place. Standing in line has become a pastime, right? This is something that electronic payments and modernizing our financial architecture will definitely allow us. Right, so modernizing our financial architecture will fast track electronic payment legislation and technology. I think they passed the bill a few years ago, but I don't know what has become of it. Definitely hasn't changed anything here. According to the World Bank, a modernized payment system could save Guyana about $6.5 billion. Again, these savings could be better spent in youth development and diversifying the economy. Property rights. I mean, I rant to my friends and on Facebook all the time about the lack of property rights in Guyana. Creative industry in Guyana has huge untapped potential for wealth creation. How many Rihannas and Toni Morrisons and Daisies live in communities like All Boys Town or East Band? Yeah, right. But there's no incentive for them to produce good work because they won't be paid for it. There really is no incentive. And the excuses that we hear are really not good enough. Oh, things are going to become more expensive. Well, other people are going to find a way to create wealth for themselves. Artists, musicians. Imagine musicians actually being paid for their work here without hearing their music pirated on the radio or on push carts. Sectors that rely on intellectual property rights represent a significant part of developing economy in terms of GDP, employment, tax revenues, and strategic importance. But sadly, this has really been ignored by our politicians. They've just paid lip service to it. Both individuals and companies will benefit from intellectual property rights in diverse ways to help them develop, trade in, and secure income from their innovative products and services. And we all know how creative Guyans is. And finally, just a small note on regulation. We find that excessive regulation is especially burdensome for small businesses. It's a significant barrier to entry into the market. excessive regulation. How many licenses you gotta go stand in line here at GRA, then go somewhere else and get letters? It's crazy. There's too much regulation. Excessive regulation is especially burdensome for small businesses. The cost per employee of complying with regulations is usually a lot higher for small firms than it is for firms with more than 100 employees, for example. So who faces the brunt of the regulation is people like you and me. People like you and me who want to start our own small business. We're the ones. We can't afford to have runners standing in line for us. Yeah, so much time is wasted. Burdensome regulations are easier for larger firms to shoulder and drive small firms out of business if prevented from entering enforcement. And again, that just leads to lack of competitiveness in the market. So yeah, that's our intent. I didn't touch on oil and gas because we feel that is a big topic, and we will dedicate a lot more time to that. And our approach is going to be entirely data-driven and evidence-based. No pie-in-the-sky promises about things that we know or our politicians know are not attainable. Right? Data-driven, evidence-based. Thank you, guys.
All right, so citizenship is the highest office in the land. Ralph Gonzalez, the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The office that we all seek as politicians to gain is an abstract one, in my opinion, because the office belongs to the citizens and not to us. We simply go to represent. Now, TCI has a vision for Guyana and for Guyana tomorrow. And that vision is more than just simply a vision, but it's a destination. And before you can arrive somewhere, before you can do something, you have to visualize it and then plot your way towards it. And I'm going to be talking about infrastructure for the future and beyond infrastructure for the future. Beyond infrastructure for the future, there are some things that we can have the biggest buildings, the best cars, the smoothest roads, but if we do not have human capital development, all that will be a waste. So before I go into the presentation on infrastructure, I think it's critical for us to conduct a skills mapping exercise throughout the country where we can understand what skills we currently possess, all of our citizens, what skills we don't have, and look at the gap between those two and spend money to fill that gap. Some skills that we will need include project management, operations management, investment management, data analysis, data science skills, executive leadership, and many, many more. In 2030, 2 election cycles from now, the world population will increase by over 1 billion people. The majority of them will live in cities and metropolitan areas. We will have an upsurge of new metropolitan areas. And with this increase, efficiency will become an issue. Efficiency in how we build buildings, efficiency in our transportation networks. We already have, I was going to use we have OMTV. We already have a horrible transportation system here in Guyana. We spend hours sitting in traffic. So efficiency will be one of the key things that we need to look at. Our honorable president a few days ago, speaking about post-oil Guyana, mentioned agro-processing. And I don't even think he should have mentioned agro-processing. Post-oil Guyana is artificial intelligence, smart technologies, clean technologies, big data, data management and processing, augmented reality, virtual reality, blockchain. These things are not separate from Guyana. All the first world countries already doing their work in this. Why can't we start? Why can't we prepare our youths to take up these positions and take up this training? The fifth industrial revolution is fast approaching, and we need to leap forward. As our human capital develops, so will our infrastructure. And infrastructure is key for economic growth. The movement of goods and services are completely dependent on infrastructure within this country. And TCI has a robust plan for this. So with that, I give you Guyana 2030.
The year is 2030, and you are witnessing a sustainable Guyana where a green economy flourishes and where ease of doing business is way of life. This is a country with planned open spaces, clean air, smart governments, and a perfect environment to raise a family. The project's implementation strategy takes into account several massive infrastructure projects, including potable water, sewage, industrial wastewater, storm water, power, ICT, roads and bridges. Building the country the smart way, the vision is to have a plug-and-play format so all the land areas are fully ICT enabled and completed build-up infrastructure is available right up to the homes and buildings. The smart infrastructure forms a platform for industries to invest and operate in Guyana without having to worry to develop the surroundings. World-class and sustainable infrastructure facilities set Guyana apart. Guyana's planning includes safe and well-controlled flows with multiple corridors, bicycle tracks, wide footpaths, shaded pedestrian walkways, service roads, tree cover, and CCTV cameras for the safety of its citizens. In Guyana, there is a dynamic intelligent traffic management system which reduces emissions, enables rerouting and auto detection of violations. Part of the planning includes rooftop solar panel and other renewables, such as mobile solar recharging ports for electric vehicles. An impressive transport hub with over 500 zones with post parking. Even the bus shelters are equipped with electric vehicle charging points, enabling smart public transportation. Guyana's primary water source are its rivers,
So, we have a very robust support system in the diaspora, and I must thank Renee Paris for putting together this video for us. This vision is attainable. We have a unique opportunity with oil and gas to properly spend the money to develop the country so that when the oil and gas is finished, we can still gain money, not only in traditional ways, but new futuristic ways. The video will be available on our Facebook page for you to better look at and listen. And once you listen, I need you to listen and pay attention to everything that is in that video. Thank you.
So, the idea that we have in terms of developing national this roadmap, clearly a lot of thought has gone into our 6 pillars. You've had a fraction of what we intend to do tonight. We intend to take this roadmap across the country and have citizen inputs. We don't, as much work we put into it, we don't think it's perfect. We think proper public policy has to be built on consultation with citizens that policy will get. So, as part of that process, we want to invite you tonight to be part of a town hall type session, which we have listed us. I haven't seen some of the data. So, questions about what you've seen is that without going too hard, to any other general plans that we might have. So, let me open the door. Who's first? Cisco?
Can I stand up?
Yeah, man.
All right. Good evening, everyone. How are you guys doing? First off, it is a pleasure to be here. Okay. When I first heard about the Citizens Initiative, I was very, very optimistic. In fact, I still am, because I represent a section of the citizens of Guyana that nobody really likes to talk about. The bad guys. Why do I say this? And in fact, I'm very proud tonight. In fact, I am so emotionally proud tonight to say this. Because as a bad guy, I'm one of the few people that can actually be honest and bring to the forefront everything that Guyana needs to hear. As a young man in Guyana that struggles to create opportunities for other people, and we are constantly kicked, tossed aside. If you can hear it in my voice tonight, very emotional about what I say. I sat here in this seat with my heart beating, waiting for the opportunity to speak, even though I know that there are a lot of us here tonight that are distinguished people. And I know that one of my associates right here wanted to say something, and he's had to stop for a second to say he couldn't say that because he's on TV. But I find that to be incorrect.
What's the question? What's the question?
Let's get to the question, bro.
What's the question for us?
It's not necessarily a question.
What we want to encourage?
I
This
want
question
to
of the
encourage
plans. So,
every citizen in this country to be able to get up and to speak your mind without fear of persecution, without fear of being judged or cast aside.
yeah, but we joined them.
Good speech.
So what would you
All
like?
right,
What would you like? What would you like? In the interest of getting everybody to speak their mind, we need to give them time. Yes, go ahead.
Right? I know that you have shown all of this.
Yes.
Can you show the feasible and realistic approach to delivering it?
Which aspect? Precisely.
All of it?
No, we can't show all of it.
I mean,
tonight. When it comes to specific aspect,
no,
we
because
can
I
answer
support
you.
it. I do not come and stand in opposition to it because Guyana needs it. We need a transformation. But how can you be different than the
Yeah,
others
but,
if you cannot show?
no, no,
Hold on.
yeah, but what we need from you, because we have 6 pillars, right?
No, but,
Now it's impossible in time allotted, and particularly, frankly, following your sermon. We can't show it, but if it is you want us to show a specific aspect of it, we would like you to ask about which specific aspect. We
Okay.
can't show all of it.
Okay.
But you want a specific aspect to issue, 10 minutes.
For one,
Yeah.
you show a new Georgetown, I would guess.
Yeah.
How do you plan
But
to
in the talk, not as
transform from now till 2030 without completely destroying the current infrastructure that is in place and without destabilizing?
okay, this is your
That's
question.
there.
Thanks a lot.
And I'll sit down and I'll listen. Because we need a realistic approach.
Yeah, there's absolutely no intention of destroying Georgetown. Georgetown is our heritage. Georgetown is where it's our origin. We have Brickdown, we have Stabrook that used to be Amsterdam. We're not going to destroy Georgetown. In fact, I think Georgetown should be preserved and be heritage. Queenstown should be a heritage site. With all our old Victorian staff homes, they should not be knocked down and replaced with concrete structures. Guyana is going to expand. We're not going to be in Georgetown forever. And our new communities and our new cities have to be built properly. If we have to expand the road in Georgetown, we can't because the houses are right up on the street. We have no sidewalks for children to go to school. So thinking forward as we develop, we have to ensure we develop correctly.
Support. Thank you very much. Support then.
Good evening. I have two concerns. One with the infrastructure. I haven't heard anything mentioned of global warming, climate change. And I'm assuming somebody said it was a new Georgetown. So I'm thinking that this is a new Georgetown in the interior. Because by 2030, we are basically done with this. And I think that the biggest threat to Guyana, and I think that's what we probably need to focus on, is the effects of climate change in the present infrastructure that we have. And are you taking into consideration a new Georgetown as in having a new capital? And the second question is, you spoke about something about social cohesion, and I want to probably take it in consideration with the psychosocial brokenness of our society, and what do you go forward, how do you go forward with that? And finally, the plan sounds like you'll become the next government, but in reality, you may have 2 seats, 3 seats, and what are your primary plans in going forward in collaborating or being in strategic partnership with one of the bigger parties in supporting them in support of one of your agendas?
All right, I'll answer the last 2 questions, and the other things will be first. With regard to our plans, with collaboration, etc. Now, or we're going to take on politics that currently exists, presumes that the executive has the super authority for the presentation of ideas and creation of innovation. That's one of the things that we are fighting against. Nothing prevented us as citizens from coming up with these plans. We intend to push them forward, we intend to push the ideas into the public domain, and we intend to challenge whoever is the executive, whether it's us or whether it's somebody else, to either implement them or not implement them. And if we choose not to implement them, then if it is that we're in parliament, they have to pass a budget. With regard to social cohesion, that is the key component of what has been pushed. While the vision is an extension of the efforts made under this very current administration, but broadening and deepening of it. That is why it's going to pass 3 days looking over one phase, which is my official duty, consultations on national public policy, and when it comes to social cohesion, we tend to expand it. Now you mentioned the whole aspect of the psychosocial element of it, the structure of families, etc. The our culture, and subcultures are complex things. Whenever we move forward, we intend to ensure that every aspect of what was wrong with us, like all these some generational transmitted neuroses that affect us, a variety of fronts, be addressed both on the cultural aspect as well as the public health, mental health aspect. So we intend to look at all. If this satisfies your question. Now,
Um, thank you, Rose. Climate change is definitely an issue for us. Obviously, the video, everything that was portrayed in the video shows sustainability. It shows alternate power energy sources. So the video has covered that without explicitly saying climate change. Just because saying climate change has become so taboo now. And once we know that this should be the new way of life, so that we don't need to say climate change. Our way of life should just always be clean. But we understand climate change exists. That's why the city portrayed in the video has been laid out in the way it's been laid out. And there's no pitch for a new Georgetown. Georgetown is Georgetown. We're in Georgetown. Even if a capital city is moved, Georgetown will be Georgetown.
Let's, for everybody else in the future, just think of the most pertinent question and ask it, just so we can spread it around, okay? So, one question per person.
Thank you. So, the most important question I have is concern Amerindians. So, I come from Esclavo, specifically for this function. I live in an Amerindian community, and I work in Amerindian communities around Guyana. We have in Guyana the Amerindian land titling issue going on in Region 7, Region 9, Region 2 specifically. What are your plans in concern with the development of Amerindian communities and the Amerindian land titling project in relation to the strengthening of our borders as well?
No, incidentally, I think I have one of the most recent publications on land title issue. This is something I'm currently studying. Because frankly, I don't know enough about it. But the very basic principle that we have, and because I work in culture, and culture has a nexus between citizenship and citizens' rights, like very broad, there's a 2-point thing that we need to look at indigenous communities, has to do with land issue, but also cultural rights issue, specifically the issue of language. One of the things that I can push forward very aggressively is the issue of how it is that indigenous languages are developed, preserved, and sustained and mainstreamed, because the vision that a government ministry is going in, is looking only at that issue. One of the key aspects of public policy in the area has to do with the issue of free, prior, and informed consent. You have to go in, tell the people this is what we intend to do, this is how we intend to expand or restrict your land rights. And when they go in, they speak in English. And the people don't understand properly. Not because they're stupid, but because English is not their first language. But the average Amerindian person in Ghana is bilingual, but you can't say the average coastline. So, as a key part of cultural rights and the very practice of governance is to go in, we want to put in this public policy in your community, affects your community, and we want to say it in the language. Take that back, and then craft proper public policy. We intend to, and thank you for coming. This gentleman is one of the first person to contact my Facebook page and took us to task. It's something that we felt that we didn't do right. And when we said, well, this is the actual situation, we decided to come. So, in Kapui, that's where you're from, we intend to visit you here and have you introduce us to the people so we can get a direct first-hand experience on what your concerns are, from land titling to language to education to social ills that affect the indigenous communities, and then we will use that information to craft a general policy. Right now,
Alright, good night, everybody. Good night, everyone. Well, let me just say thanks to the relevant team for inviting myself and all of us by extension. I know you said one question, so I'll try to merge two into one. I know you were a lawyer, but a couple of things. One, I'm trying to get clear in my mind what is the intention of the group. I've been hearing remarks by representatives of the group indicating that the group intends to advocate for change in certain areas, and I would imagine it's listed in the 6 pillars that you've identified. But then I also heard, and you just mentioned it throughout, for example, whether or not we're in the executive. So to me, that indicates political aspirations or a willingness to correlate with a particular political party to pursue your change. I may be wrong, I'm not sure. I think, you would know, rural Guyanese have an issue with trust, especially when it comes to our politicians. Most of us would support a political party because we feel it represents, it identifies with our heritage. So in that context, I'm asking this question. The question: how are we to be assured that this initiative is not a proxy for a political party, or will be evolved into a proxy for a party or interest of a particular party, right? And the second question related to that: who are the financiers?
now let me answer your second question first. We are the financials. I have, for example, a very, yeah. First of all, we're the financiers. We have no external financing. I have a very understanding landlady. Where the car and say, Mom, I do this thing, hold on to rent, I can pay you. I can pay you. This thing, and this is very critical. I'm glad this question was asked. There's no shadow money here. Going forward, there will be no shadow money. We'll account for every single cent. One of the key things that we'll be pushing as a political entity, a political party, which answers the other question, is campaign finance reform. This is something that we'll stick to and we'll challenge the other players to stick to. Nobody go in the pocket and somebody put some in their pocket and put some in yours. That makes inefficient campaigning, and then it transforms into the issue of governance, because the person who paid you, who paid the party, first of all, the party owes them. But when you put it in your pocket, the person also owns you. So your decisions are not led by public interest, they're led by personal gain. We intend to put an end to it. So again, this thing has been expensive, but we're going to struggle, trust me. But there's no financing. But that said, from this point on, we're open to financing.
Just ask how you finance your campaign.
Yeah. We're open. No, we're open, very open. So I answered two questions. All our goal is to end up in Parliament. As the key platform has to do with leverage in Parliament. Now, answer the question of coalition. Let me say very explicitly now. our message is that this adversarial politics with two giants continues to be a primary hurdle to developing the economy. Coalition either two is not an option. That doesn't mean you don't intend to go and say this is adversarial and this is we want to cross you down and stuff like that. I shall address, but from a very practical perspective, you can't say that you have the goals that you want to attain, to change the status quo and then join status quo. It doesn't make sense. Now, some other aspects of your questions with regard to, well, this is something you say, so will be addressed, key motivators. So I advise you to wait with them. John? Well, you just mentioned city company, so I know how to mic it down.
I guess my question would be for Council. Sorry, good night, everyone. You talk about wealth creation, finances, tax credits, electronic payments, all that. What has been in Ghana for a very long time is corruption. How do you plan to deal with that?
How do you stop corruption? Because nothing else happens.
Yeah, no. Corruption is the bane of progress. It's important that there be a zero tolerance policy to corruption. Not just advocating for transparency for political legitimacy, but actually carrying through. And where people have broken the law, then they should be made to pay for it.
So that's sort of happening there.
No, it does because our politicians aren't interested in that. We are though because we recognize that data-driven, evidence-based, using data and evidence shows us that prosecuting corruption, not tolerating it, is one of the easiest ways to advance as a nation. Right? We tend to implement a wealth of transparency, but in initiatives. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's no wealth creation without stopping corruption. Because it's endemic to so many levels.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I'm asking, how are you raising it up?
Dude, that's like a 7-hour lecture.
So one of the first things to do, like of course, has to do with governance, investigation. Now, you mentioned the issue of, sorry. One of the key aspects we're going to look at is, and Jonathan touched on it, is how it is that we integrate technology into this. One of the key enablers of corruption is this database system. Somebody knows a document, they can change a figure. We intend to. Yeah, but well, we know that cybersecurity or cybersecurity plan is going to be robust, but we have to attempt it. So cybersecurity, but again, more than anything else, what has to happen, and I think we represent people here who are keen on this. We have to have people who with it. That the key disincentive against corruption is political will. So and this is why we start with campaign. But this is why we start with campaign financing issue, because that is where it starts. When special interests get to throw on bridal amount of money in the shadows of political movements, that is where it starts.
So you refuse money?
No, we will not refuse money, but we will refuse, we will refuse money, but we insist that if you're giving money, it's not going to be the shadows. You decide.
One question.
Yeah, huh? You decide. If it is that you're going to give us money,
One question.
yeah. And anybody, one of the things that was asked on our page, we will have every single donor, the name and if the request anonymity, the name attached to that code. However, if you go above $2 million, I'm ambitious. But if you, I've been in Guyanese I've been witnessing Guyanese politics, and I can tell you this truth one. But if it is, you go about $2 million, it's 10,000 US. Anonymity is not an option. You have to agree that your name will be out there and published as being a donor above a certain statutory amount. Whatever we will campaign to be a statutory amount. And that's not something we will compromise with. Because nothing, as you rightly said, nothing that we seek to do with regard to transformation will happen if there's no. I'm going to be very, very well, well, I reluctantly accept it. Sorry. No, this again. Issues of presidential candidacy, etc., are secondary right now. What we are not here, as Shaz said, we don't tell anybody, we're a platform citizenship. We encourage people to join up. We encourage participation. This is not about building a platform for somebody, a pedestal of somebody's ego. This is about involving people like you to join us in this conversation. Right now, the presidential candidacy, and let's be realistic. Anybody, any small party in particular, that is handling over who's going to be presidential candidate, again, it's an exercise in vanity. Realistically, we will have the head of the list. We will ensure that person fits the criteria of integrity, of accountability, and of intelligence that we set with regard to who we want in government, and that person realistically will lead our team in parliament. Realistically. So the questions of presidential candidacy, so that is that's a legal issue in terms of who will help the list or parliamentary list going into the election as a legal prerequisite. Presidential candidacy is the last thing I mentioned. We want a competent list built from a competent platform. Let's do that. All right. Two more questions. Anything else we have outside because we want to get to everything. So,
Okay, you guys mentioned about governance reform. Can you, unless I've missed it, I haven't heard anything about constitutional reform, which is one of the main pillars of one of the main problems that caused us all of this problem in the first place.
yeah. Yeah. I spoke about it as one. We intend again to institute a legislative agenda that has constitutional reform as the first pillar. And even we will go even beyond that. We will ensure that going into it, that our proposal speaks to constitutional creativity. There's a prelude to constitutional reform. One good example of that is the issue of shared governance. Currently, the Constitution says that the executive president can select his cabinet and his government from his the list from anybody who's on the list. That doesn't restrict it to his list or her list. If it is that I get the presidency and Annette is a party against me, and her list or list makes the case in election, makes votes, I can select Annette. Nothing prevents me from selecting Annette. Yeah, she made by president. He said, probably select her as per PM, resign, and then. But the point is this: constitutional reform is on our agenda. And we have a very complex and still evolving treatment of it going forward. So it is number one on our agenda for governance. Agenda.
Just to explain my question back to you.
consider that the future holds any possibility, you could very well succeed. So the first question is, you're not going to create a department, but when you come to the coalition, other forces, military forces that are present at the moment. And the second question is, two chapters in the first. You have because the structure of it is usually the head of the list. And we considering that the head of the list is somebody other than the presidential candidate, and the points concentration will not be there. And so the head of the list. The short answer to the first question, we're open to any smaller entity that shares our strategy, shares our commitments, and our plan. We're open to strategic thinking. It makes sense. I like the idea that you have, and yeah, this is certainly something we because we want to ensure that that it follows that. So that is actually on the agenda. Now, that is just a small example of how we intend to take our process and our plans to the wider community in the next upcoming months. The next few months, this is not about campaigning. This is about engaging citizens in a very direct way of shaping public policy that we intend to say that we're going to take this, this is going to affect the future. Have you involved in shaping? We ain't going and 50,000 jobs or this, doesn't make sense. It's insulting to the electorate that you're hoping to gain their vote, to give you the privilege of being the government. No, that's not what I'm talking about. That said, I want to point out something that nobody else has asked us. It has to do with gender. You had 4 men talk here, and not a single person, including the fact that not a single woman asked the question. Gender is a very important thing to our plan going forward, and this here is extremely deliberate because what we did is save the best for last. That best is, of course, I'm going to introduce next, but let me give you some background, which is going to embarrass her slightly. Now, about a little over 20 years ago, I went to French college. I thought it was very bright, and I was now getting into the very arts field, so I thought it was a hot shit, and I just said shit. You just said it. You just said it. Yeah. I thought it was a hot shit. Then we had some school at Eugene, where all the top high schools got together, and we had this extremely difficult teacher. But I didn't know at the time because I was graced in class and I thought it was hot shit. And then we got the marks. And every single person failed in class, except for this one annoying person. One annoying person succeeded. And that person was on the line. And ever since then, I've had great deal of resentment for her. But more than that, I've had tremendous respect because this is somebody who I know throughout the years that I've known is unmoving when it comes to principles. And what it is that we wanted to find somebody who could best exemplify what we stood for tonight, I couldn't think of a better person than Wanda. So, Wanda, Banana.
Good night, everyone. When I was asked to give a feature address to this tonight, my immediate reaction was incredulity. Why would anyone think I had anything important to say? Who would listen to someone who's never dabbled in politics beyond my vote every go around at election time? What can I say that could impact any political initiative in this sphere? why should I care to impact it in the first place? Before I go further, please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a 40-year-old mom of four, a full-time teacher in a career I've nurtured for 21 years, and a small business owner for less than 2 years. When opportunities presented themselves for migration, I resisted, believing I could make a change in the classroom, nurturing young minds to be free thinkers and logic seekers. When successive attempts to get me to leave faltered, my relatives eventually just washed their hands and said, "You stay and let God take it through." And I stayed. I stayed behind because leaving clearly meant I'm moving forward. But I was quite happy to raise my children in what even many of our own people term as a backwater land. But now I'm more concerned for the futures of those same children. I find myself troubled, terrified by political directives we continue to allow ourselves to be led by. Directives which have created ethnic division, struggling families, and a less than robust economy and educational system. I'm troubled that nothing seems to be moving our people to demand better representation, which will ultimately change our fortunes, even as a great collective fortune is on the horizon. I'm troubled that we're doing the same dance every election cycle with no tangible results by the time the next one rolls around. When people ask me what I am, I tell them that I'm Guyanese, resisting the obvious answer, which is to state what my ethnic composition is. In case you're curious, I take mixed Guyanese in every form I pull up. I grew up in Charlestown, South Georgia, raised by my paternal grandparents, who instilled in me from an early age the core values of humanity, which I try to live by every day of my life. I've spent the last few years preparing students for external examinations at CAPE and CSIP, and I'm an active member of the Roman Catholic faith. Today, I am venturing into territory which is brand new to me, and which honestly, I never one day dreamt I'd be a part of. I've joked on and off with friends, one day I'd get fed up of the machinations and run for office, but that I'd probably only get one vote, which would be my own. Some encouraged me, others laughed at my naivety, and yet others sought to actively dissuade me, purely based on Ghana not being ready for anything other than what we've experienced since independence. Recently, I wondered what could change this way of thinking, and I realized that not only did I have to seek out like-minded individuals like myself, but that we have to band together to effect this change we so envision for our motherland. Getting here has not been easy. Guyanese are jaded. They're also very vocal against those who they believe differ from them in ethnicity and political beliefs, and these are often crudely spouted. They have traditionally ingrained voting patterns, and breaking it has never been fully achieved to date. The words of Machiavelli come to mind here. It ought to be remembered that there is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things, because the innovator had for enemy all those who have done well under the old conditions, and lukewarm defenders in those who may do well under the new. This coolness arises partly from fear of the opponent, who have the laws on their side, and partly from the incredulity of men who do not readily believe in new things until they've had a long experience of them. It is in this frame that I constructed this presentation. Fear of the unknown is par for the course. Rejection of unknown is par for the course. Threats to economic capacity is cause for concern in any intended massive change. But what is not acceptable is an almost inscribed belief that a country's political will can only go in a prescribed direction year after year. Forgive me if my words do not ring of political intrigue or have all the right buzz guaranteed to move you to swirl accolades my way. I am a mere teacher. But I live with a greatness for my country and a dream of that greatness. This mere teacher wants a new paradigm in our politics, and I wanted to include our young people in creating and sustaining it. Our status quo has led us to political quagmire and a blatant loss of respect for the Constitution. The depths of chaos and uncertainty the people have to endure in times of political electioneering and gimmickry cannot be a regular thing. We court our citizens at election time and seem to listen to them and for what they want. But in reality, we've never truly put them first. There has not been any transformative shift to collectively represent the people. To effect this change, Guyana needs a resilient institutional mechanism to channel our progress, and that mechanism will only come from a committed group of competent people working together for the collective good. Our current system does not allow for this. It is time for a clean slate with a focused Guyanese citizenship initiative. This is the Guyana I envision. One that carries maximum respect for our Constitution and its laws. I believe in a Guyana that is united like our mutual love of cricket and which does not cease as soon as we drive out of the stadium parking lot. I dream of a Guyana where the political will caters for those who support and for those who disagree with them, and the same benefits are meted out to all Guyanese, no matter the divide. I believe in a Guyana where our people have equal opportunities in education and jobs, no matter their geographical location, ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, or religious belief. I dream of a country which puts smart infrastructure in place in every region to train our national athletes, to produce cures for major diseases in our labs, and to implement STEM-based programs for further development. I believe in a Guyana which chooses competency over party paramountcy to realize goals set by national and international standards, especially in educational achievements, health initiatives, and ICT infrastructural capabilities. I believe in a Guyana that has infrastructure that caters for complex surgical achievements, as well as for students with learning disabilities. I believe in a Guyana that innovates and manufactures enough for our own people, and with more than enough to share with our neighbors. I believe in a Guyana that taps into all Guyanese skills to generate the competent personnel we will need to steer this ship. I believe in a Guyana that integrates fully all the skills needed for large-scale economic agricultural production of new and old crops. I dream of a Guyana with people willing to take chances on new faces, with the willpower and competency to effect all these dreams and beliefs I have. I dream of a Guyana where basic goods and services doesn't exhaust the Guyanese just trying to access them. I believe in a country where every family can build their home, raise their families, and put something away for a rainy day. I believe in a Guyana which does not jail its citizens for minor offenses and which has a different rule system for the rich and the poor. I dream of a Guyana where our resources are put to work for us and there are equal rights for all our citizens. This is the Guyana the manifestos have promised since independence. When do we actually make the transition to less talk and more action? Guyanese lawyer Ronald J. Daniels tells us, once we put the people first, the outcome may not always be utopian, but it would be understood and invariably accepted. Our people do not expect perfection. They expect consistently sincere consideration and honest service. I believe there are three things that every Guyanese can do to achieve these dreams, which I'm sure many of you share with me. Firstly, know your rights as a citizen. Our political will has been shaped too much by those who know the laws and manipulate them for our votes using legal and constitutional jargon. Secondly, make those seeking making your vote work for it. Make them work for your vote every single cycle. Your vote is a constitutionally enshrined right. Voting a specific way for only their benefit is not. That is your free will, and you must be respected for it. Lastly, remember that Guyana is a land where we all live. You might benefit from a political situation, but why must it be on the backs of other Guyanese? Do not be daunted by the enormity of the task ahead. Do it justly. You're not obligated to complete the work, but neither are you free to abandon it. Toni Morrison has the best advice for those taking up the mantle of responsibility. When you get the jobs that you've been so brilliantly trained for, just remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. If you have some power, then your job is to empower somebody else. This is not just a grab bag, candy bag. I've never courted political dreams, believing that some of us change fortunes in the trenches. In fact, no party older than you has ever fancied my time or energy. But I feel it is time to channel my energies to erase the division that cripples us and stymies our potential as a diverse, competent, resource-rich nation. We can no longer ignore the fact that we have never truly formed any citizenship initiative to challenge ingrained political clout, because we've always had a fractious society, which is perpetuated in part by ethnic differences and structural inequity. These are the collection of core values the Citizenship Initiative outlined earlier tonight. It is to be the model for sustained, transparent governance and accountability for a country on the cusp of economic viability in changing globalization models. These values are the ones I share with every speaker who stood before me, outlining the goals and policies of this initiative. These are intended to be the characteristics of the representative model for every Guyanese citizen, regardless of gender, economic status, political persuasion, sexual orientation, religious persuasion, or ethnicity. These are the contours of my one recurring dream over these past few months. I dream of a new Guyana. Arundhati Roy tells us that another world is not only possible, she is on her way. On a quiet day, I can hear her breathing. This is the Citizenship Initiative. This is our hope for a clean slate and the pride that comes from building a better united Guyana. My name is Rhonda Anna. I am a Guyanese. I am a citizen.
My name is Sean Ali. I am a citizen. My name is Alfonso, and I'm a citizen.
My name is Will Johnson, and I'm a citizen. My name is Young David, and I am a citizen.
My name is Denise Taylor, and I am a citizen.
My name is Bernard Lafayette, and I am a citizen.
I'm Alex Arjun, and I'm a citizen.
Citizens all, we have food for you, and we have conversation. Please join us.